Well, it is. There are those who said, well, Billy Joe Saunders, he quit. He quit. I mean, what do you say to them?
Listen, you're always going to have your people who's going to come in and have their two pence worth. But, the people, my team who's in that corner, know the conversation. I was going out for the ninth round, orthodox.
What's good, family? Smash the like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Billy, the big bubbly hole, Saunders. Wow, this right here, I saved this to one of the last ones because we're finally, about 18 videos in, we're finally getting to the last of this interview. But listen, this right here was a personal favourite because, again, this whole interview, for you man who have followed a lot of my analysis of this particular, from this particular hit piece from the MTK Shilaloa Cartel Media Organisation, otherwise known as TalkSport, you'll know that a consistent theme from Billy has been trying to convince Joe Public that there was really something deeper and more mysterious and more technically savvy going on in the ring, other than him just being hit once and wanting no more and jumping out. Yeah? That's what we do know is. What we do know is he got hit once. Let's talk. You know what? Let's not get into emotions, why B's a hater. Let's talk the facts here, shall we? He got hit once. He lasted 90 seconds and never got hit again in the same place. He went back to his corner and jumped out. That's the facts. You man can try and do what you want with it. That's what we do know happened. Hit once, didn't get hit again for 90 seconds, and jumped out, and did nothing to try and stay in the fight. However, like I said, this interview, which is his most revealing interview to date, is most interesting because at several points throughout the interview, he never once tells you that story, does he? He never once tells you what we all saw on the videotape. He got hit once, he didn't get hit again for 90 seconds, and he jumped out. Instead, like in today's video, we hear things like, I was going to turn southpaw, orthodox, turn orthodox. Again, Joe Public, who don't really know boxing, even if you watch the fight, yeah, if you're Joe Public, and even if you watch the fight but you're Joe Public, yeah, you may be thinking to yourself, oh, wait a minute, yeah, that's a good point. He could have turned orthodox. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, right, oh, Billy was going to turn orthodox. And if you're a lot of people in Joe Public, yeah, they don't think out of the box too often. They like to be told what to think anyway, kind of thing. So they hear Billy rock on TV and say things like, yeah, some people had me up 2 rounds, and it's unfortunate my team pulled me out. So then when he adds in there that, he was going to an orthodox, what it does is it adds to his credibility. Even though we've had we've had Ben Shilvidson. I was about to say we've had no one corroborate his story, because that's another thing. In terms of evidence, yeah, in terms of facts, corroborating testimony is very important. If Billy says he was going to turn orthodox, yeah, and that proves that he didn't quit because he was kind of offering alternative strategies to try and stay in the game and win, that would be fair enough. I swear to God, yeah, if Mark Tibbs had come out in them first interviews, in them deleted, wiped interviews, if Mark Tibbs had come out and said, in fact, even, that's what the worst thing is, Mark Tibbs, even after Mark Tibbs' interviews got deleted, even after Coogan pulled the interviews down, and Mark Tibbs went raging on Twitter, calling Coogan and said, Coogan, come to my gym, and I'm going to give it to you again, you little weasel, deleting my videos. Guess what, Mark Tibbs, even though Coogan, by the way, didn't go back to interview him, yeah, Coogan was told to stay down, just like Billy was, by El Trapahan, no doubt. Mark Tibbs went straight on there, in his own with Boxing Social, and said exactly the same thing he said in the Coogan IFL Michelle Joy Phelps and Seconds Out, pulled down, deleted interviews, said exactly the same thing. Billy won't give me the right signals. So, I've got another video coming soon, but Billy essentially is calling Mark Tibbs a liar. Because Billy also says in this interview, which I'm going to cover in another video, but Billy also says that, wait there a minute, if you don't believe me, you can ask my corner. I was going to turn southpaw. Sorry, orthodox. You can ask my corner. I was going to do this. I was begging for more. Now, we know Ben Davidson. Do you think it's a conspiracy, or do you think it's a coincidence that it's always the MTK, Shilaloa Cartel Dons, Ben Davidson, who we know categorically Just look at Ben Davidson. How is he getting all these top fighters? Do you think it's a coincidence that all the top fighters who also coincidentally seem to be marked up with MTK? Is that a coincidence? Wait there. Ben Davidson has no experience, no credibility, has no credentials, but he's MTK. All these top fighters who have all the credentials. Like, normally in life, them things don't add up. Loads of credentials, no credentials. What? They're working together? I'm afraid to break it to you, man, but the only common denominator between all these top fighters and Ben Davidson isn't, well, you know, top fighters working with top coach. That's not the case. It's top fighters who are MTK working with a bum trainer who's MTK. The common denominator, the only common denominator is MTK. Yeah? The only thing that attaches all of them. But anyway, the reason that's relevant is to say that Mark Tibbs, who is not an MTK Shilaloa cartel associate, yeah? What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to come on and tell you that Mark ain't been touched, because from what I've heard, we all saw him on there with his family leaving the town for a while. He had to get out. Listen, Mark Tibbs, we all saw it at the train station. He was getting out of Dodge, no doubt. Yeah, oh, YB, that's not what was happening. Okay, then. Yeah, you're right. He was just travelling with his life. You put it this way, who do you know, yeah, travels on a train, middle of the week with their whole family out? Don't think so. He'd be getting out of Dodge. Yeah? He was getting out of Dodge, no doubt, 100%. Yeah? Having said that, touched or not, he's not an associate. So is it a coincidence the only man who's not an associate, because let's not forget, we all know what the associates did. Michelle Joy Phelps, Michelle the Fire Phelps, Radio Raccoon, Coogie Bear, Coogan Chilius. What did Coogan Chilius do? Delete the videos, no doubt. Is it a coincidence all the associated Shilaloa cartel dons, all of a sudden they're all working together? And that's what a cartel does. That's what associates do. They all pull in the same direction. Ben Davidson, pull in the same direction. Coogie Bear, pull in the same direction. Tyrone Booth, pull in the same... You know what I mean? I hate to break it to you, man. YB, mate. Oh, come on, Tyrone's not... All I'm asking you, man, is to open your eyes and clean your ears out and just look where the tide's blowing. I'm afraid to break it to you, man. If all of these people, Tyrone, IFL, Ben Shilvidson, Billy Ho, pulling in one direction, and the one independent Don, Mark Tibbs, is saying the opposite. Now, some people may argue, well, YB, you know, 5 people are saying it's one way, and Mark Tibbs is saying it's the other way. Well, you man can take the 5, because them 5 ain't got no credibility in my mind. Mark Tibbs has nothing to gain. If anything, he has a lot to lose, because really, it benefits Mark Tibbs to come out and say, yeah, Billy's a warrior, and I want to get hired again. But like I told you, man, at the time, Mark Tibbs is from a very very particular stock of trainers. He's from the old school. The old school don't need to hop on no Billy Ho Saunders carousel. Call it a spade a spade. You don't need, like, the boxing spirits is worth more to him than that. Do you understand? That kind of, yeah, it's like the boxing spirit's worth more than that to him than just a shill for some fighters come and go. And if anything, look at Mark Tibbs again. Mark Tibbs said no to Daniel Dubois. That's free money. Especially when he's working with Frank Warren, who you know is going to get Daniel Dubois tin cans to knock over. That's just free money. Mark Tibbs again, because he's in line with the boxing spirits, he said no. The boxing spirit's worth more to me than just taking Daniel Dubois' free money or Billy Ho Saunders' free money. I'm calling a spade a spade. Show me what. Them things, yeah, all them actions are detrimental to Mark Tibbs' career. Show me when Ben Davidson's done something which is potentially detrimental to his career in the face of, in trying to prove truth, if that makes sense. Show me. Show me the examples of Shilligan, Cassius, Ben Davidson, Eddie Hearn. Show me them doing something that actually hurts their business. You ain't see it. How about that? Mark Tibbs has consistently told the truth, and it's provable, like I said, on the basis that it hurts his business. Everyone else seems to just be pulling the party line. Tyrone, pulling the party line. No doubt. Mark Tibbs and the YB and a few other dons out there were the only ones to kind of pitch the truth movement, pitch the truth. And the thing is, people give the YB credit. YB, you know, how can you be the number one truth teller in the world right now? Well, you know, unfortunately, the truth is the truth. Yeah, you don't need no accolades when you're telling the truth. Tyrone does. How about that? Tyrone want the accolade. Oh, but you know, YB, you know, but to be fair to him, he got £20. What? Is it the truth or not? £20? I don't get that. All of you Tyrone dons, yeah? Don't worry about £20. Is it the truth or not? What is the... Oh, YB, come on. You have to let him off because Billy gave... What? Is it the truth? It's not to worry about who gave who what. Is it truth or not? How about that? What happened to that? What is it? What world do we live in today, yeah? Where it matters, oh, but YB, you know, he knows him and it's £20 and... Wow! Is that what it is then these days? Doesn't matter what happened, as long as you got 20 quid, you can just say what you want and people must jump on board. Wow. Wow. Yeah? Now, like I was saying, listen. Mark Tibbs, the only Don who came out and called a spade a spade. And what did he say? He said, Billy, you didn't... Orthodox didn't even cross your mind, kid. Yeah, listen, Billy, I think what's happened is, you did that interview 6 weeks after you did Talk Sport. I think you've dreamt about thinking about mentioning Orthodox 6 weeks before that. If that makes sense. That's what's happened. Billy Saunders fought Canelo Alvarez in May, yeah? The interview happened 5 weeks later. So at some point in them 5 weeks, you dreamt. You wished. You dreamt and wished you'd mentioned Orthodox. That's what's happened here. Billy talked about his dreams. You didn't know what happened. You was dreaming. You was wishing. For your pride's sake. For your manhood's sake. For your masculinity's sake. You was praying and wishing that you'd mentioned that at the time. But you didn't. Yeah? You didn't. Because if you did, Mark Tibbs, I'm sure, yeah, Mark Tibbs would have loved nothing more than to have come out and said, you know what, guys? I pulled it. But Billy, he was begging to go Orthodox. He was trying all he could, but we had to just make the executive decision. That's what, no word of a lie, yeah. That there is all trainers' dreams. It's a trainer's dream to come out after they've stopped the fight and said, you know what? I made the decision to stop the fight, but Billy, he really gave it to me. He was begging to go Orthodox. And, you know, especially the details as well. You best believe, yeah, a trainer would love nothing more than to report, especially if there's kind of people are questioning whether he quit or not. A trainer would love nothing more than to give you all the juicy details of all the things, of all the ideas that the fighter had to try and convince them to carry on. Mark Tibbs didn't mention. In fact, Mark Tibbs said he weren't giving me the right energy. In fact, Mark Tibbs said, you know what? You'll go for another round, son. You're going back out again. Mark Tibbs himself said, I was sending him out for another round. And then Mother Bear Ben got in my ear and started chewing Billy's ear off and then chewed my ear off and tried to guilt trip me. Tried to 2021 fruity tooty guilt trip me about how I'm not being a good mother to Billy Ho Saunders. How I'm not caring enough for him. I'm not sensitive enough for Billy Ho. That's what Ben said. Ben said, but Mark, I can't believe you're not very sensitive anymore and you're not paying Billy as much attention and you need to, you know what I'm saying? You need to think about Billy's emotions some more. That's what Ben said. Yeah? So back to the whole point here. The point is, Billy wants to rock on this BBC interview. He wants to rock on this shill of sport. Yeah? Talk shill radio. He wants to rock on Talk Shill Radio and give you some specific details which to Joe Public sounds informative. It sounds valuable. Wow, Billy's giving us a real insight here. Yeah, look, he wanted to turn Orthodox. Joe Public, because when people lie, yeah, normally people ideally want to lie on a broad level. So when people start hearing specifics, it gives something credibility. Oh, wow, yeah, look. Does that make sense? Normally, bad liars will just say yes or no. No, it didn't happen. But people who try to be smart like Billy tried to be smart, but he ain't smart, yeah? So he gives rubbish lies like, oh, I had bone in my retina, and oh, but I was going to an Orthodox. That's what Billy's be doing now. And the worst thing is, I swear down, there's even Billy Ho Saunders fans repeating this kind of stuff. YB, what do you mean he quit? He was going to turn orthodox, and he had loads of tricks in his sleeve, and Billy's a magician, and how can you think Billy's a magician? Or how can you think that someone like Billy, who's a magician, look at what Billy did to David Lemieux. Of course he had more tricks, yeah. They call him, what's that? Oh, I forgot the guy's name now. That's dead, but what's his name? Oh, I was thinking of a magician's name, but they was calling Billy, what's that? They was calling Billy Blaine. How about that? Yeah, that's what they said. Oh, come on, YB. They call Billy Blaine Saunders. Billy Blaine, Billy David Blaine Saunders is what they call him. He's a magician. Yeah. That's what the people. I know what I've lied. People in my comments giving it all that. Yeah, YB, Billy's like David Blaine in the ring, and he's gonna be doing this. He's gonna be doing that, and. He got all the tricks, has Billy. Orthodox is only one of his tricks, is what they were saying. He had no tricks. He was all out of tricks. Billy had no tricks after about the first half of a round. He had no tricks. In fact, I didn't even see no tricks, to be fair. For me to see tricks, yeah, you have to land something decent. Billy didn't land one decent shot. Now, I'm not saying, oh, why Billy, we know Billy slaps. I'm not saying that. I understand Billy slaps, but even so, even with slaps, Billy didn't land one good slap. I don't remember seeing him land one half-sharp shot ever in the whole fight. So you can talk about all the David Blaine you want, yeah. What we do know is there weren't not even a bit of Blaine in there. There weren't even a bit of magic tricks. So listen, I'm not gonna keep ranting on. The fact of the matter is, you can keep throwing out all these details you want about what you was going to do, what you weren't going to do. Number one, factually speaking, Mark Tibbs already aired you out. You weren't mentioning none of it. Number two, be honest with yourself, Billy. What would let's not forget this as well. Technically speaking, yeah, something most people overlook with this statement. Even people who don't like Billy O. Saunders, something most of them overlooked was the actual technical part of this. Wait a minute. You said you were on turn orthodox. The one thing that was meant to be your advantage was staying southpaw. Don't forget that, please. Oh, Billy's a wily southpaw, and CANELO struggled with southpaws. That was the one thing half saving you, to be fair. The only thing, if you'd have turned orthodox, Canelo Alvarez, his lipstick would have been all the way out. All the way out. Yeah? And that would have been that. He'd have been hanging all the way out the back of you if you'd turned orthodox, because all that would have done was line you up nicely. That southpaw thing kept you off the line. That little bit, them few inches. That's what that did. That keeping you southpaw meant you got your feet tied up. Made it a little bit awkward. So Alvarez, normally when you got orthodox and southpaw fighters, you don't really see lot of clean stuff going on, really. It can be a bit messy, often, because of the feet positioning. Orthodox, it's straight down the line. Yeah, that's where you get, it's all nice and lined up. So that don't even make no sense, to be fair. If you thought that was a solution, it shows how, in fact, I'll give Billy his credit. He's a boxer, so he must even know how stupid that sounds. The one thing that was keeping you alive, you was talking about doing the opposite, as if that was gonna really just come on, man. Let's be serious now.